Yes.
Okay, yes, thank you so much for being part of Smart 24 TV. My name is Noah. This is the Economic Agenda. Today is the 2nd of April. Yesterday was Fool's Day. For those that fell victim of the lies that ran around, we will not apologize. You just have to be very cautious. It's the generation we are in. Information moves so faster than it was before. And at the time check is about 8 minutes past 9. We get to start with one of those conversations that you have to be waiting for. Some of you wait for in the course of the week. This is how I'm going to start this conversation today. Uganda has over 300 radio stations registered, licensed by the government and the different authorities. And it also has over 30 TV stations that some are on free-to-air and some operate in a possible authority, under authority possible. And we have now the new media, which is digital communication. We have the internet. We have so many websites that are doing news reporting. They're providing services like any other platforms that are dealing in information. Today we get to understand and discuss the conversation that is media and economic awareness. We want to assess and also evaluate the impact, the significance of the role of the media in the current trends. With me today, I have Honorable Salah Musumba, who has graced us with her presence.
Thank you.
A lady that is known for so many things, good things.
Yes,
the lady of the people, I will say that, because when you put Salah Musumba's name in a WhatsApp group that has about 300 people, definitely you'll have about 15 people talking about it. Different comments. Most of them are positive.
Yes, I'm comfortable with the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm used to all that.
I will take this opportunity to let Salah Musumba say hi to you. Honorable Salah Musumba, say hi to you as we get into this conversation.
Well, I'm pleasantly surprised to be here on this panel tonight, and I really want to congratulate you. You look as smart as you say you are.
Thank you.
And so I think the conversation should be equally smart. I'm glad to be here, and make me one of your guests quite often. I'll be glad to be here all the time.
Thank you so much, Honorable Salah Musumba.
Yes.
To start with, a lot of things have been happening in the country. You, I'm sure you're very aware of some of those. We had the exhibition that was happening on X, formerly Twitter. That included the Uganda Parliament exhibition, which was highlighting so many issues that might be happening in the Parliament of Uganda because they are still under investigation. I don't know how the investigations are going to come out.
Investigate the Parliament, the very institution that has the responsibility to check everybody else.
Don't you think the Parliament also has to be kept in check?
Yes, it needs to, like every other institution that draws money from the consolidated fund. Yes,
it has to be kept in check.
Yeah.
So the public, the population of Uganda, especially the netizens, took it upon themselves to highlight some of the challenges. Some of the things are said to have been reported by people within Parliament who claimed that so many issues were happening within Parliament, including abuse of office. And apart from that, We have also had other major issues that have been happening in the country. We have seen slides in, we have been seen issues in political parties that are falling apart on issues of still corruption. We have seen government programs that are pending implementation, including Lubowa Hospital, that was also discussed here last week. We have also seen people raising issues on PDA, parish development model. Now, today, the reason why I thought we needed Salam Musumba today on the show is to try to get your thoughts on some of these issues. First of all, you have been in the media for quite some years.
Yes, a lot of years it has been.
You've been in the media for quite some years, discussing different things, debating with so many different people. I would want to hear your opinion, first of all, your understanding of the media in line with government programs. If Ugandans have to understand from you, how would you explain the role of the media in different government programs?
You have described yourselves, the media, as the fourth estate.
Yes.
And that is a position you occupy, a very dignified position, because you're expected to be professional. You've got to know the facts, the figures, the trends, the patterns, hindsight and foresight, about everything else. You're actually the custodians of information and knowledge. Over the years, in any democracy, it has been like that. And it will be like that for a long time to come. Right now, you have extra media, which is the digital media, which is like a snap. You don't have to wait for evening news, you don't have to wait for morning news, it is instant. And therefore, you have a new information environment in which to operate, and in which to share information, to communicate and also get feedback. What I find lacking in today's media is that the kind of knowledge that you spew out, that you share, you need to be more knowledgeable than everybody else. You need to check your facts. You need to cross-check and counter-check all the times. But everybody now is a media guru, and so they share.
And some of them are more informed than us, actually.
If they were, it would be a good thing. But the worst thing is that there's largely rumor mongering and disinformation. And I wish one of the filters in the digital media would be a filter for the correctness of the information that is being shared. It can be also a security risk in that information that is instantaneous, it has a danger of sparking emotions, and those emotions can spiral out of control. So the media platforms are not the problem, are not the issue. It is the knowledge, the information that is being shared and how it is being shared. Some of it is really meant to excite, to annoy. The majority of it. One time I asked my children to, as they watch too much TV, I asked them to summarize for me every evening when I come home the events on the media. And one of them told me, listen, don't make me sad. Everything about media, especially the foreign media, is about war, it is bad news, it is what. Corruption. Said, listen, I can't handle it. I can't handle it.
They actually
it's just
did
bad
give
news.
the summary?
No, they did it for like 5 days, and then they said, listen, if you're asking me to watch BBC, Al Jazeera, or those international media, it's about war.
Yes.
It's
Israel
about earthquakes. It is about Iran, Iraq. I mean, it's a repeat now. It is Moscow and Kyiv. it is about Hamas and all this, these bombs, this one. Said, listen, I can't.
When you come to Uganda,
when you come to Uganda, you're talking about tear gas, broken ribs, Inanga, such crap.
You said Inanga,
such crap. I mean, there's nothing. Growing up, we didn't have this kind of media.
Yes.
We spent a lot of our time listening to Radio Uganda, which had filtered information, which was knowledge-based. We had Uganda television. We also had BBC, DocuVela, and that was our source of information. Radio Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. And the information that we fed on grew us. We knew about South Africa, we knew about SWAPO, we knew about so many things, the global events as they were being shared with us.
Honorable, my interest...
But I wonder in this generation, how would you pick and choose the right information? You know, you get yourself a lot of trash in your brain. You cannot filter, and I think that's a missing link within the knowledge of people, but also in Uganda here, because of these many outlets. Every region has limited itself to their region. You know,
and their
language, their road. You speak so much Lusoga, so much Runyankole, so much Luganda. You know, you're not a viable citizen, global citizen, and that's very limiting. And I was lucky to chair a committee in Parliament, Presidential and Foreign Affairs, and this is where information happened to be. And in one of the recommendations, it said, listen, there must be national news that is shared. There must be a period that is within the licensing that this information, this national information, must constitute 15% of your broadcast. Yes, so that it's part of what grows national unity.
My concern is going to be directed. I wouldn't find localization of information as a problem, like you're saying, you know, Lunyankole, Lusoga. I would want to look at media in the way that is the information being shared progressive? I would want you to look at that angle. Is it educative? Is it informative? Entertainment is, by the way, I mean, right now
it's 50% of your broadcast.
Yes.
I mean, it's coming to 70. You know, a station will switch off any debates. Nobody's interested. They're interested in music. They're interested in gossip. They're celebrity. In what? As the world moves past you. You know, the other time we used to have a saying that if you don't change, change will change you. These days,
my head teacher.
Who was that?
That is the late Huha.
Oh, Huha.
Daniel of Manchester High School. Used that saying so much.
You know, now that is even gone. If you don't change, change will leave you. Change leaves you. And you get back.
And this is change moves very fast.
Very, very fast.
Especially
if you are not able to catch up, if you are not able to filter for yourself.
I want you to look at this. I want you to look at the situation of media and the public's interest in government programs. First of all, do you think media is doing enough to make sure that people pick interest in government programs?
The biggest problem with government programs is that the citizenry has disengaged from government. It's a matter of legitimacy, it's a matter of trust, the lack of it. They don't largely believe that government is up to any good for the ordinary person. And so they've disengaged. And so you've got to present some of this information in a very interesting way, if you can. But largely the public is bored, disinterested, and disconnected.
Look at the recent conversations that have been happening, especially during that exhibition. If you follow the story,
I did.
The stories that happened about corruption, the debates. If you followed some of the conversations that were happening on radio and TV and maybe newspapers, do you think the conversations were in line with the role of the media in economic awareness?
Oh, they were. 100%. They were on top of their game.
Media was on top of their game.
Media was on top of their game. Actually, media displaced the opposition.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would like. That's a conversation I would like to hear.
Yeah, media displaced the opposition, especially the official opposition, because these are issues that the official opposition was meant to deal with, to digest. But they reneged on that responsibility and that mandate.
This is what you're saying.
Yeah.
You seem to be saying that real economic issues, it's the opposition that is mainly focused on addressing. Because I would
in our environment, yes.
In our environment, in your environment, yes.
In the political environment, the national political environment, yes. Because there's something wrong with Parliament that I need to point out. A government policy is delivered to the country and on record in Parliament.
Yes.
And therefore, the program called Parish Development Model is supposed to be presented to the nation in Parliament, not on radio, not in a press conference.
Wasn't that procedure for?
I doubt.
Maybe you need to check.
I became aware of it. I can tell you about even UPE.
Yes.
It became a manifesto agenda discussed in open space and implemented in a haphazard way. It can't be evaluated. For a long time it wasn't being evaluated in Parliament because it was never presented in Parliament. So, but that one was during the movement, the no-party system. In a multi-party system, such a policy is supposed to be presented in Parliament. The official position is supposed to give a written counter to that. So that the country knows that this is a policy of NRL, the ones in power. FDC or DP or NUP that are the official, this is their stand. So we can measure them on those parameters. But things get deposited in Parliament. There's no counter. It is presented for debate in a very flippant way, and you are not able, therefore, to audit who stands for what. Media,
one of the major roles as a journalist, one of the major roles of media is clearly stated as a watchdog. We are a watchdog. We are supposed to keep you.
Maybe you shouldn't be even a watchdog.
This is a very serious issue.
You should be an
I don't know why you're laughing. But this is a very
I don't see any dog watching nothing. I don't.
We are the watchdog.
Supposed to be. That's a good mandate. A full mandate. Yeah.
We are the watchdog. Okay, by policy, by paper.
Okay. In a normal environment. In a normal environment.
You're going to justify it in your own way.
All right.
But we are the watchdog. We are supposed to keep you in check.
Correct.
We are supposed to keep you accountable to the public.
And you should. Yes.
Considering your reaction, I don't know if you're going to definitely give me an answer that favors my job.
Please ask.
But do you think the media is keeping the government in check, and how would you justify it or unjustify it, if that statement, if that word is right? I would like to use it. Do you think the media is doing their job as a watchdog?
Yes, to the best of their ability, yes. But their standard has been eroded. One, at least 50% of the media does not understand the issues. They don't. They don't understand the issues that are being debated.
Highlight out some of these issues.
They don't, largely because in the media fraternity today, it's young boys and girls. There are issues that are older than you, bigger than you, that you can't discuss in depth. You can't just...
I don't think age is a problem.
It is.
I think the problem is the information.
Have you ever listened to Tim Sebastian when he used to of BBC? I mean, you look at the fellow, look at the guys of Al Jazeera. When they're discussing issues, they know the issues on the tips of their hands. It's not that I want to derogate the age group, but there are things that come with age. Wisdom comes with age. I
want to disagree on the issue of age, Honorable.
Yes.
Even Al Jazeera has very young people.
Yes.
They articulate issues.
Yes.
My concern is actually because I am also putting on the side of the good journalist today. I want to stand on the good side of the good journalist. It's why we want to discuss. And also my media house, Smart 24 TV and MBS, we want to stand on the side whereby we are discussing real issues.
When you're discussing real issues, professional issues, you know, and you need to do your research thoroughly. If, for instance, I asked you about the privatization policy and where it led this country to, it is something that has been banked and it's not being discussed. For instance, if I wanted to tell you about Uganda Commercial Bank and how it went up, Uganda Cooperative Bank, the banking system then, and how it was disabled, and how this country went to the gutters, economic gutters. You need to do a lot of understanding of what happened, how it happened, and what the consequences and the outcomes have been long term, from 5 years, 10 years, long term. How did we cede space in the banking sector? How did we cede space as a nation to foreign interests?
We are going to break off a little bit for a short commercial break. One thing that I will leave in mind is the issue, you highlighted the issue of privatization. We may not, personally, I may not come here and tell you how the policy is and what it entails in the policy.
How it wrecked, at least how it wrecked the economy of this country.
At least I will tell you the impact of privatization on the economy and how it's going, because I think somewhere we have lost the position that it was intended to create in the country, considering how many challenges it has come with, and its future is somehow leading us in another direction.
You need to understand, why didn't we get the full benefits of privatization?
We will come to that. But today, we want to focus on media and economic awareness, which also includes all those issues. We will come back after a short commercial break. This is Smart 24 TV. My name is Noah. Today with me, I have the honor to have Honorable Salama Sumba, the wise woman from the East.
Correct.
Stay tuned.
Smart 24, driving business.
Cooking oil like no other makes your meal so sweet and scrumptious. The taste of Uganda, yeah, the taste of Uganda.
Rachel Rich. The Queen Cobra, the password of the money, the original no spare parts, the 11th commandment, the question and the answer.
Osmosis. I know you want money, but I'm also broke.
Ah, no. Money is not an object. These days, Momo sorts me out anytime. In fact, my sister, let me also sort you out.
Really?
I've just sent you instructions on how to get a loan on Momo. I'm here for you. Can I borrow some chips?
When you need a loan, you've got MTN Momo. We're Sotinge. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Hello tech lovers, the Pixel tablet is here. Is Google back? Wow, we could all be a Google Pixel tablet which comes with a twist, but can it find an audience? Elon Musk's brain chip company, Neuralink, says it has won FDA approval for human trials. Now, the US Food and Drug Administration, which had initially rejected the application, has given the company the green light, several years after the tech billionaire first promised testing would begin. Neuralink said in a tweet on Thursday it had won the approval of the US Food and Drug Administration to launch the first in-human clinical study. The company did not elaborate on the aims of the study or when the trials will start, but it said it was not recruiting yet. Elon Musk, who last year claimed the devices were so safe he would happily use his own children for trials. He said that the brain chip will one day help conditions like obesity, autism, depression, and as well as enabling web browsing and telepathy.
Smart 24, driving business.
Welcome back. This is Smart 24 TV. My name is Noah Opera, and this is Economic Agenda. We are live with one of my most distinguished guests today. I am honored to have Honorable Salam Musumba. We have James back, the man who did not finish his profile last time. James, you came late, but we understand. This is Uganda, like so many said. I want to be the first to say that. This is Uganda, and this is Kampala. So we understand how you ended up late here. Please take 1 minute and say hi to the viewers. And maybe you deserve your wife who is watching, who has been waiting for your apology.
Hello, all the viewers out there. I apologize for being late, but it's not as a result of my own doing, but it's a result of our infrastructure as a country. Taking 3 hours to arrive, to move a distance of 20 kilometers, it's absurd, but I guess that's something we have to live with for now. My name is James Wire, and I'm back here once again to be with you and discuss. I'm honored to sit next to Honorable Salam Musumba, one of the people who are very vibrant. The time when the late Cecilia girls were shaking the parliament, these were the ladies who were out there. You will stand corrected. She is vibrant. Yeah.
You have not been in Busoga.
Okay.
You don't mention 1, 2, 3 names, and Salam Musumba doesn't come
appear.
Among the names. So I think out of sight
is not out of mind.
Thank you. I am with people who understand this language.
Yeah.
Honorable Salam Musumba. Yes. By the time we left, we had a conversation. We were evaluating the role of the media as a watchdog and looking at accountability, keeping you in check because I'm not going to say the government. You have been in power, and I'm sure you're still a leader in so many in different capacities.
Yes.
We were trying to justify or find justification in the role of the media in these current trends. Is the media playing its role, and how? I want to listen from you. I am on the listening end. I want to be with the viewers.
Yes, you want feedback.
Want
feedback, as I was telling you that information now is perishable. And so to catch up with the events of the nation, events of every nook, you catch up with every twist, you need to be on full alert and equipped with the tools and the knowledge. And even how you communicate, the style also matters. If I was to compare the parliamentary exhibition, that style was catchy. The style was explosive. It was interesting reading. You never got bored. I think I was more on Twitter than any other thing, because I wanted an update every minute. And
it was being delivered then.
Oh God, it was a horror story, a real horror story, and it has left a bitter taste in many people's minds. This is what is going on. This is the honorable team. This is our first 11, and this is what is happening. It was quite debilitating to know some of the things that happen. And from my vantage point, having been a member of parliament, having been in the sphere of local government, and having been a commissioner of parliament, a pioneer commissioner of parliament, I can't find the words, because it is millions of miles apart from what we set up the commission to do and where the commission is at. It is at.
James, welcome to the show once again. You have been engaged in a number of things. James was arrested, I will say this again. James was arrested by the local leaders in Butaleja for writing about the PDM, Parish Development Model, highlighting irregularities. So I know Salam Muslimba back then, they could pick her and put her on the pickups.
I was arrested where the hospital is.
In Busolwe.
In Busolwe, and I was packed in a drone.
You have not been arrested in Busolwe?
Yes, I was arrested in Busolwe. I had bought some bread for my Jaja to take to Doho. I wanted to spend a night in Doho. Omala stopped me, took me to police. I wound up in Tororo. They refused to take me as a prisoner that night, and I ended up in Malaba.
I would want to know where
it was a very scary. But Malaba, you can imagine being arrested.
That is absurd. And I'm sure the media played the role during that time.
It was a by-election time.
And they reported so much about that story about you.
But anyway,
and these stories came out.
I slept on the floor of Malaba police station, and I know how it felt.
That's absurd. James, you evaluated the role, the PDM, and how some irregularities were there. You played as a citizen journalist, because you are not a journalist by registration, and you're not a journalist by profession, but you played citizen journalist that time. I would like you to hear from you when you look at traditional and new media. Has the media been significant? Have they played their role during the implementation of PDM?
Well, first of all, we need to appreciate what media is. Because when I look at one of the definitions, they say it's all channels of communication,
yes,
including everything from printed paper to digital data.
Yes.
So we're gone are the days when media was newspaper, Mono, New Vision, UBC. Gone are those days.
She explained all.
Okay, and I appreciate that actually. If she did, then I won't get into those details.
She misses the days actually.
Oh, I know.
Everything is evolving. Actually, all industries, all sectors are evolving. Today we even have banks that don't have human beings, software-based banks.
Yeah.
You have exchanges that are these foreign exchange, whatever's all digital. So the same thing with the digital sphere for journalism or the media. For PDM in particular, it helped us a lot. Why? Because things like social media have democratized the journalism space.
Yes.
Before you had to belong to a media house. If you aren't accredited to Nation, if you aren't accredited to Smart TV, you are not considered a media person. Today, I could choose to be a media person.
But you will need to be registered.
Whether I'm registered or not, the fact that I'm doing that work, I'm already in the media and people listen, they read. On my blog, people read, they communicate, they respond. I even get gigs. I do what they call ghostwriting because of my media work. Okay, so for PDM was quite interesting because people do things outside, especially in the districts, and they think that they are not being noticed and being observed.
Yes.
And many of the peasants there are helpless. What do we do? Where do we report? And many times these guys work with the leaders, officials in the district, RDCs, political leaders. They work together. It's like a game of Barcelona football. Back pass, front pass, here and there. So when I came up and I brought up the issue, they got offended and they thought that the only solution was to arrest me. Again, thanks to that democratized media space, people came up and they fought for me.
And you came up.
The night I spent in that cell, the RDC never slept. The deputy could not sleep. The SFF chairman could not sleep.
That was unfortunate for Salam.
Okay.
And so why were they sleeping? Because they were supposed to monitor. They should have been thankful to you.
They got pressure for arresting me. It was so much, overwhelming. It reached all the way up to the regional level.
You want the sympathy of people.
Exactly. So,
but also it was the contribution of the media that helped people get to raise up because the communication went around.
Yes.
I think even on radio, people are talking about it.
Yes.
And then social media, people raised their concerns and the calls came.
And now where you see the difference here is most of that was on the side of what you'd call the outliers in the media space, the so-called unregistered, the 1 inch of every day, the ones who have benefited from the democratization of the media space. Media houses are usually a bit conservative. They fear to say something. What will they say? What will they think about us? If I say this about the RDC, tomorrow they won't allow me to do the following. But here you have individuals who will sit, they call them keyboard warriors. They will sit and
they call them
do their thing.
They call you keyboard warrior.
Yes. So those ones actually play a very good role and they're helping to check. Honorable was talking about the Parliament exhibition. To be honest, it was a very big eye-opener. I am a businessman. I have tried doing business with government before.
Yes.
I've done it a number of times. But for you to tell me that you can channel 250 million shillings, 500 million into an account of an official, that money, that official is going to go and pay certain people. 200 million? How? I just couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Today for maybe even my boss would realize that if he hadn't been, I'm sure he knows, but he would realize there's a competitor called the new media. Fortunately, us here, we don't only do traditional media. We don't only broadcast on TV here and do radio. We also go on social media and engage with people. Yes. So we're on Twitter, or currently X. We're on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. We are all over. It is interesting, and Honorable Salam Sunda has explained that for a lady that is interested in the back then history of traditional media, it's fascinating to see how she has a lot of knowledge about the new media. And you explained to the audience in details and the interests of people. My interest today from you, Honorable Salam Musumba, is going to go to the atmosphere of the media. Is it free to operate? Can it be a watchdog? Because you almost trashed the issue of us being a watchdog.
No,
I am not offended.
No. You don't have to.
But do you think the atmosphere is favorable for these young journalists and media houses to operate freely? And where could be the challenge, or where could be the opportunity for us to do better?
Well, the traditional media risks going moribund. It risks being left, and because there's a free space out there, and so you cannot restrict information anymore. You just have to manage it, and you must give a new niche to yourselves as a media house, because you cannot, the other platforms cannot displace you unless you're allowed to be displaced by the content and the speed with which you do stuff. So the space is out there for you. Now, if you are looking for safeguarding an operating license, you are going to be left behind. Nobody cares whether you have a big building, if what you're sharing is not good enough, then you will be on the dump heap of history. You'll close shop. So whether UCC likes it or restricts you, your manager directs you, channels you to where you should do and don't, there's it's a marketplace out there, supermarket, a high-speed supermarket of information. So you risk running out of business, you risk running unemployed, and so you must strike the right balance, and you must also make your hierarchy know that they can't stop the machine. You just can't. Please, I don't try, because you'll be irrelevant to people's lives, and the investment will go to waste.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to agree with I'm itching to. True, media like political parties can only thrive if the political and economic space allows them to. Okay? It is linked in one way or another. Many times we criticize you, the media, okay, you, the former media, but even us also.
We are called the traditional media.
Why?
Those are the new media.
Because you have the issues of the licensing, where they use that. Then two, on the economic side, you have the owners of these media houses saying, don't talk about MTN, don't talk about this, don't talk about that. Otherwise, you'll chase away an advertiser. Now, that also stifles how much you can come out. And yet some other person out there is able to bring out such salacious information.
And some of the advertising,
and again,
the government, actually. It's part of
it's part of it. Okay.
I would like to correct you somewhere, because when you talk about license, it's only the traditional media that are licensed these days. UCC follows up even on you people who are doing new media. You have to have a license to operate. Just that the sphere, like you said, it's more of a supermarket. Some of them have purchased things that they are not sure whether they have gone through your SB to be confirmed that they are good or not. And but somehow,
but at least they can't license air.
Yes, they can. They are trying to license.
No, they're doing it the wrong way. They're doing it the wrong way. They've got to understand,
because for you
the
to
times.
For you to operate, just to rectify, just for you to operate and officially be recognized as a new media company,
or a blogger.
Your blogger, you need a company. It's also going to help you to win business in one way or the other. But also it means you're getting into our dilemma that you highlighted, that in case information that we say is not in line with the advertiser, we lose license. So it's where you're heading. Now, that's where I needed to find out about the atmosphere of operation, because much as you look at the media and mock them and say they're not doing their job as watchdog, I would like to hear from a politician who has been in the area that is in policy implementation to hear, is the atmosphere favorable right now for a TV station, for a journalist to come out and make sure that the head of state is accountable, the minister is accountable, the police is accountable? Is the atmosphere favorable?
No. The atmosphere is very restricted. The atmosphere is very toxic. The atmosphere is not user-friendly. It is going dictatorial. But we've been here many times. We should know better. There was a time we used to listen to radio under our beds in 1978, 79, when Tanzania came to liberate Uganda. That didn't stop the liberation from happening. It didn't stop. And if it happened then, it's even 1,000 times better now. The clarion call is for us to style up, to up our game, and be on top of the table, on top of things, work transparently, update our software in the way we work. If we have found one, curiosity will lay us bare. And we are in different times. We are in different times, and it's important that we all recognize that. We all recognize that we are in a different operating environment.
Yes, yes.
Honorable, you make a very big statement that needs to be unwrapped. We are in different times.
Yeah, we are.
Noah, you talked about where we need to be registered as media guys, bloggers, and all that, in order to get business, in order to operate. We have gotten into a space where operation is no longer territorial.
Yeah. Actually, you can use a backstage.
You get it, eh?
That is called the black site.
No.
You use backstage.
Here I am. I'm here in Uganda. Where's my blog hosted?
It's hosted in the US.
In the US.
Mostly
Okay.
it's hosted in the US.
If a crime is committed on that site, where's the jurisdiction?
James.
Are we together?
You have been part of the policy formulation.
Yes.
He has contributed policies, UCC policies, and technology policies. You know that the new law on new media can still catch you.
We can get to that.
Even if you're hosted in the US.
So what is it catching you about?
I did
the information, the territory where you're operating from physically.
I have done studies in cyber law. So now when I tell you there are so many loopholes one can exploit.
Yes.
Okay? If push comes to shove, many of these things are just going to remain on paper.
Yes.
Okay? At the end of the day, like Honorable is saying here, we just need to appreciate that the environment has changed. One of the biggest setbacks we have are two. One is information being hidden. Information, for example, getting statistics from UBOS, you need to go through a clearance. And now tomorrow when I misquote,
but they are keeping.
They come. What are they keeping that they are making secret?
As if it's for their family.
You get it, eh? Two, you have a media space that is, how do you call that? A media space that is lacking in a number of areas. For example, what information they choose to present. Today I did a scan of newspapers across East Africa. Front page news. Okay? I'll give you a quick run through. Citizen, Tanzania.
Yes.
Morogoro becoming a spice giant with 36 billion output. That's the first. Second, Dar es Salaam BRT, that is a train, the rail system, transport system in Dar es Salaam. Second, the BRT operator said to bring in 177 buses. Second operator, they already have an operator. Okay? Then the third one, how EAC can boost exports to the rest of Africa. Then the fourth one, Tanzania second in East Africa mergers and acquisitions. Live there, come to New Vision. That's Uganda now. Ditch infighting or perish, basically tells opposition. Okay?
You're looking at the headlines.
Yes, headlines. Mpuga compares battles with Chagulanyi to Cain and Abel.
Okay.
Let me tell you,
Yes,
it is
yes.
worse when you're out of this country. You wake up on a Monday morning when people are expected to think straight,
Yes.
think strategic. And the New Vision headline, the New Vision, before I go to Monitor, they're saying, oh, a dog was killed on the road. I say,
The headline.
is this country?
In media, there's
No, that is past.
Yes.
This thing of yours, the dog eats what and what is the dog? That's gone.
That's gone.
This is strategic thinking. This is prime time. What are you expected on a Monday to think like?
You have to be purposive.
On a Monday morning. It's not inside, it's headline.
This is why people should watch Smart 24 TV because, to be honest, the programs here, they target a very clear agenda every week. We target mainly business, of course, business, 99% business. So the agenda is clear. There's something in journalism that is called agenda setting. Back then there was a show that was Agenda Uganda that could look at what should be discussed.
Now today it is called trending.
What you're trying to present to us right now is going to be termed in the line of agenda setting, and you seem to be denying the fact that media houses are not setting the right agendas for discussion.
No,
we are not denying.
Not
We
even
actually
that.
stating.
You see, they are not even doing that. It's just a reflection of what they are made of. What
Exactly.
constitutes
You said
their leader.
it.
It's so revealing
You
of
said it.
who is in the wrong place. You
You
know,
said it.
you have guys in the wrong places.
Positions.
Rumor mongering is what stimulates them. They have occupied spaces where they don't belong. They are not ready for, it's just a revealer.
I hardly listen to radio, for example. Nowadays,
It's a choice.
in the morning, I can never waste time on radio. You'll be depressed the whole day.
It is a choice. But you see, when you say that, I will tell you one thing. What you listen to on radio is what is happening in the country.
Come on, that's not what you are meant to do. Your radio and TV media is about building a society. It is not about
Just reporting
reporting about a society.
They hit a dog, they didn't. What are you helping society with?
Listen, this is building a society. That's why in other domains, they have a set time for family TV.
Yes.
When family, you don't expect anything to cause you embarrassment. It's family time. Okay? When the kids are from school at 3 p.m. until they have dinner at 7 and they go to bed. So when you use media to grow a society and direct the brain of a society, I told my mother, I will not allow you to watch Gatali Konfu. I will not. This junk, I will not. I said, listen, I will not allow you to do that. This is war.
I have a feeling someone is going to say you hired Honorable Salam.
Listen, I am telling you,
but it's a bit
we are destroying a society.
I'll agree with you. I think that brand. Break. I will come back with these guests of mine that have come with a different voice to that about media. For those that are there operating media houses, please bear with us. These are the guests I have today.
No,
And I'm going to be changing.
please appreciate the feedback.
I
Appreciate.
We shall come back shortly. Thank you so much for being part of the show.
Now.
Smart24, driving business.
My bossy, can I borrow fuel? Biggie money, can I borrow renty? Manager, give me some caloni. Okay, what about 5K?
When you need a loan, you've got MTN Momo. Wesotinge. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Luxury redefined at Seasand Hotel as you indulge in the splendor of elegant living fit for the royalty that you are. Step into comfort, pampering and blissful customer-centric service as you select from our range of comfy, exquisite living quarters furnished to meet with your royal preference. Surrounded by scenic beauty, our tropical setting allows you to escape the glamorous ordeal of city life. Our ambient green gardens will guide you to a place of revitalizing rest. The 3-star restaurant caters to your palate, serving your choice menu ranging from exotic cuisines to local delicacies. Our chefs will serve you full course meals for a truly out-of-this-world culinary experience. Our fully stocked bar to whet your throat, from renowned global brand whisks, brandies, gins, beers and wines to our locally celebrated beverages, you will not lack for any brewage. It's an all-new experience in the East at Seasand Hotel. So visit today at plot 15 to 19 Spire Road, Ginger, or contact us on +256 751 719 960 and +256 785 354 614 for reservations. Seasand Hotels, luxury redefined.
Smart24, driving business.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for being part of Smart24 TV. My name is Noah Wapera. We are discussing on the economic agenda, media and economic awareness. How has the role of the media been significant in the current trends? And we have looked at a number of issues that have been happening, including the exposure, corruption in the parliament of Uganda. We are looking at a number of other things. Today, the people I have, I am glad they are part of the media in one way or the other. By default, they are part of the media. They are not journalists, but Honorable Salam Sumba has been in the media for a number of years. And also, as we had today, she's been part of the committee that was in charge of...
Committee on Presidential and Foreign Affairs, and it had Ministry of Information in it.
And you said by that time you chose to have 25%?
Yes, one of our recommendations was that
each media house
content.
The content should have
25% local.
The national news. Uniform national news.
Unfortunately, these days you may find a media house that all through they are having gospel, watching movies or discussing something that is irrelevant. I don't want to crucify myself because I'm part of this side of the story that is being, receiving feedback. And feedback is feedback.
Yes.
Receive feedback. Uganda has a number of authorities, has a number of institutions that regulate media houses. including UCC, Uganda Communications Commission. We have the Media Council. We also have the Broadcasting Council. All these authorities, all these institutions are in charge of handling different areas when it comes to media and journalism. Media Council registers journalists, and also, for you to be called a journalist, you make sure that you are registered by that institution. And we also have UCC that is in charge of making sure that all radio stations, TV stations, and any company that is dealing in information sharing has to be licensed by Uganda Communications Commission. Over to you, my guests. I would like to know, if you looked at the state of the media right now and their authorities, especially I would like to crucify Honorable Salam Musomba, the fact that she was also in charge of information at Parliament.
Yeah.
Do you think these authorities are doing their job in regulating these companies fairly?
I want to have a disclaimer that I'm not an authority in that area, but from my standpoint, I see more of the don'ts. Don't, other than directing media as a useful tool for national development. It's largely laid back. It's more of a business entity rather than a social development entity, as it should be. I watch my people in the village carrying radios into the gardens and listening in, and what is ingrained in their brain, that what they are fed on, what the information they are fed on is of very little help to their competitiveness as a society, their viability as a community. And that worries me a lot. A lot of rumor-mongering. I listen to the hosts. It's kids, kids doing their thing, using a very influential platform to kill a society. Society dies from the information and the knowledge they are fed on every day. And I don't think UCC is looking at content, is looking at parameters that grow society from its present situation, or consolidating all the ills of society. Consolidating, that is why all the absurdities in any societies are normalized. Oh, but radio, I had it on radio, I had it on TV. So it validates all the ills of society. That's why on the media, the most listened to programs in the rural areas about family dysfunctionality, about society failure, and much of the time they are giggling at problems. They can announce the death of somebody as they laugh. It's such an absurd way of a society, a dysfunctional society. So the media is damaging society as of now. If you are to look at the content, if you're looking at the amount of time used for what, that very time could be used in national development, in social reconstruct, in a social reset, social update.
But are the regulators doing their job?
No, they even don't know what I'm talking about. They are clueless. For as long as you're not talking about government, you're not criticizing government, they let anything go.
Actually,
because a few 1 or 2 years ago, a TV presenter was arrested.
Over what?
Over the information that was disinformation, was defamatory. It was what is that saying?
It was defamatory.
It was defamatory against another person. That gentleman was arrested.
But you see,
by the
media.
by
Media
the
is not about individuals.
But I was still adding on.
Yeah.
UCC also summoned different media houses, actually almost all media houses. They sat down and highlighted some of the programs that should be changed on TV and allocated them a certain time when they should be aired. They also, because UCC is as serious as recording a number of these programs, voices and videos. So when you have gone against the policies, you are summoned and you are told where you went wrong. So most of our colleagues who went there...
Listen, we are still in that command structure. This is supposed to be a dialogue for national development.
Yes.
For national unity. For national progress. You know? And they should be in cohorts or in batches that this is family time. Because the family is dying.
Yeah.
The family is dying and the media is doing a lot to damage. So what will you replace family with? The community is dying. So what,
I'll also try to also go talk about that because
politics, listen, politics is dying. We cannot be using media as the tool to kill everything. We must be setting an equilibrium in which normal people work.
Normalcy.
We must establish what is acceptable. This is the conveyor of values.
Okay.
It's not just, this is not a madhouse. Communication is for a purpose. Media is purposeful. Actually, when I left,
you hinted on politics and media. You have been in politics. Where did you find the irregularities as a politician?
It's all wrong. It's all wrong.
You can't say it's all wrong.
It's all wrong. I'll give you my example. I'll use myself as an example. As a member of FDC, I was assigned, I was deployed to contest as woman MP, Kamali. And the media in Busoga said, Tumoboli, they can't allow me that right. How can I contest against a speaker, Rebecca Kadakas? I said, bullshit, my friend. This place is empty.
Language.
If I was a man, yes, you would say, I'm vying for the wrong position. But I'm a woman. And this is one of the where I am born, this is where I am married, this is where all my things are. And we are going into an open space. If you don't like it, it's fine.
Yes.
It's fine. But the media can't take a stance that they are going to work against me. For what?
James. Okay, you had something to add on before I get to fire my question to you.
Okay, there's something the Honorable mentioned earlier. She said about these media, about the agencies you highlighted to manage the space. They are focusing more on the don'ts. Don't do this, don't do that, and then we are okay. However, they are lacking what we call a progressive approach. And the progressive approach, that is where the dialoguing she talks about comes in. Don't turn it into a policeman looking for a thief.
Yes.
No.
A thief looking for a policeman.
Oh, vice versa. Let it be a scenario where they engage, they sit, and they all have a synchronization of minds So when they go out there, even in their media houses, it is normal to say, okay, let's increase on the time for children by this much. Let's increase on the space for this. Tomorrow we are going to have the time when the national event was coming up, that international event of was it NAM? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. You could clearly see the media houses which were bent on decampaigning Uganda during that spare time. Why? Even if you don't like
the political they could have used that time to educate what is NAM.
You get it? I also took a while to understand what NAM was.
Yeah,
I had to.
I realized that so many Ugandans online didn't understand.
Exactly. I had to take time and read further.
Not even that. Not even understanding. You see, if you have a national event, you call yourselves the media to order and say, listen, this is a national event. How do we cover it? We give it a background. We give it it's an education opportunity.
Yes.
But also, you blame government for it. They treat it like it's their personal
That's the other thing.
You know?
Yes.
They are carrying you.
True, their baby.
I mean, this is not yours. This is Uganda. People have failed to understand what the public space is. Everything is private. This is NRM. NRM is not Uganda. There are things which are NRM and others. No, it isn't. There's a space called Uganda in which I live. You live.
And what I was trying to highlight, the government in power has the programs for economic development. Much as we all contribute, different stakeholders contribute to national development, but the government in power has the programs for economic development. Don't you think the media needs to focus on the government programs more than these other issues that that we want to highlight and discuss?
Now, when you talk of government in power having the programs for national development, in a sensible country, a nation will have, for example, Tanzania, they have their plan which started, I think it was 1980, and they revised it midway to become a 25-year plan, which is ending, I think, in the next 10 years or 5 years, 15 years from now. And as a nation, so irrespective of the government which comes in for 5 years or 10 years, it walks, it toes that line. So when we start pegging things to party, then we are losing it.
I'll give you an example of Malaysia. They have even audited and documented their phases of development. That every 10-year batch, what progress have they made?
Exactly.
And where have they moved? Where the shift? That's why they call them longitudinal studies, those that cover a long span of life, not the 5 years, so that they know that this development plan agreed on has shifted Uganda from this to this. Have you ever looked at UPE evaluated over the years? There's no study. It is hidden. I remember my close friend, rest in peace, Honorable Master Mboine, fantastic researcher.
On UPE?
On anything.
Okay.
But he would say, now they don't like this report. We've got to adjust. And if a government doesn't want to hear about itself, because we are being honest, this is our country, this is we. We have to know what is working, what is not working. We fix what is not working. But the character of government now, the style of government now, is cover up everything. Mbwai here, we went into middle income.
Yes.
In middle income status. As I said,
where is the disagreement?
Where on earth is this middle income? The urban poverty in this city or any city. If you are a researcher like some of us, anecdotal evidence is when people carry food in Buvera back home. No decent person carries a kavera of food from a function. I'm sure in Bunyoli.
You had to go to Bunyoli.
You know, it is Wasara.
Many times I love to give a criticism when I have a solution. If you were in the position of the media right now, what would be your line of discussion on the current trends, James?
Personally, I would start with number one, ensuring that there is easy access to information across the board. You have a number of government agencies that treat even the most basic information as classified, and it defeats purpose. It is one of the reasons why you end up having gossip superseding. I was doing some homework to find out what Uganda has spent on Lubowa Hospital, the alleged Lubowa Hospital, in order to compare with the Dodoma Benjamin Mkapa International Hospital that was built recently and completed even much faster. Okay? And to get information on Lubowa Hospital was so hard, I ended up relying on someone who works with the African Development Bank to tell me how much has been paid so far.
This has been also reported in a UNESCO report about information not being open.
Okay, now you ask yourself why.
To the media, but at the end of the day, the media has to work. Honorable Salam Musumba, you have been in policy for years, you have discussed policies for years. What would you advise the media on issues of policies and their operation as a fourth estate that has to contribute to economic development?
You got to specialize into specialty areas so that you're able to delve in depth on the substance. What are you talking about? So that you have forward and backward linkages. You know, you can compare, you can contrast, you can communicate. Here it's largely hearsay. It's largely hearsay, flippant information, and it lacks the seriousness of policy analysis. We are in an information age without information, you know? And it's very sad.
Actually, it's noise instead of information. It's noise.
It's
in the midst of noise, there's always information.
You can hear thunder. You can hear some
information. Information.
It's like treating intelligence. Information being called. There's intelligence. There's intelligence going around, especially in the security, that we have intelligence.
You have intelligence.
But they have intelligence. They have just rumor.
I will Thank you so much, Honorable Salam Musumba and James. Unfortunately, our time is up. But to the people out there, and especially media houses owners, this conversation needed to be coming to our ears on our wrongs and our rights, and also to evaluate the relevance that we need to consider in serving the country, because by the time we call the fourth estate, it means we come after that third arm of the government. There's the executive, there's the legislature, there's the judiciary, and then the media comes in. It's how important we are. We build between the public and the government arms to make sure that people are comfortable. It's why we are called the watchdog. Honorable Salam Musumba is still evaluating that fact. So should we also try to consider the fact that we need to evaluate that fact? Otherwise, I want to say thank you so much for being part of this show. Honorable Salam Musumba, thank you so much for honoring our invitation. And James, thank you so much for honoring our invitation.
Thank you.
What I will leave you with is, I think, according to my guests, there's a lot that needs to be done, which we have to consider. to make sure that Ugandans are served.
Can I give them a parting shot?
Yes, in less than 30 seconds.
Media, the traditional media, I request that you start taking on the use of subject matter specialists.
Thank you.
Okay? Because you're falling out. You get pretenders who write on issues and they're just fluffing, like my honorable here said, just pussyfooting around with matters without delving into depth. Please consider that.
Our time is up. You can just say bye to our
Yes.
people.
Thank you, all of you out there.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Smart 24, driving business.